I think that you are
magnificent.
Magnificent. Yeah. Well, let's go with magnificent. All right, welcome back to the Critical Podcast. I'm your host, MattyTingles. This is the podcast where we unlock the secrets of your favorite creators. Thank you so much for being here. As always, full video of these episodes are on YouTube, so check that out. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Today, we are back with episode 7 of season 2, and we have a very, very, very special guest joining us, streamer, ASM artist, and personally one of my favorite follows on Twitter. Of course, I'm talking about Diddley. Hello.
Hi, Maddie. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Happy
Thank
to
you.
be here.
Thank you for being here. We're just getting back into getting the podcast going again, and I just hired a new assistant, and I was like, let's try to book some people. And you were one of the first people I wrote down on the list. So I'm really glad that you're here.
I should be. I'm glad.
Let's get right to it. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. It's really hot here. Are you so you're in Australia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's winter at the moment, so hence the turtleneck, the whole winter getup. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Did you just learn something?
I just learned something new. It's so hot here today. It's like 103 Fahrenheit here today. It's crazy.
I don't know what Fahrenheit is.
I know, and I wish I should have done the research and converted it before.
Yes.
Just know, very hot. Very, very hot.
Okay, I believe you.
Okay, so hold on. Let's back up here. It's winter there?
Yes. Yep. That's like Southern Hemisphere things, you know? Yeah. We kind of just are the opposite of your season.
I'm so confused now. You're okay, and I think you're way ahead, right?
Yes, so
you're
it's like
16?
It's 12 p.m. for me at the moment.
Oh my gosh, I can't do math. Okay. So yeah, you're way
Middle
ahead.
Of the day.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wow. I just learned something. Look, I know almost nothing about Australia.
Let me tell you, every time online, if I ever complain about like, oh, it's so cold today, like I'm so cold.
Yeah.
I 100% of the time will have someone comment, it's summer, Diddley. Why are you cold? It's
right.
Please.
It's so weird. Like America has this weird thing about Australia where like we don't know anything about it, and we just see like
I've
memes
noticed.
of like big bugs, and that's literally all we see.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you have big bugs or spiders or anything where you're at?
Yeah, they are quite large.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm fine with bugs actually. The only bugs I cannot deal with are cockroaches. But like I'll happily I grab our spiders, like put them outside.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
I'm a handler.
Okay. That's crazy. All right. I'm learning a lot already. We're only a few minutes in. All right. So you're in Australia. Were you born there?
Yes.
You were. So born and raised. Awesome.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Have you ever been to the States?
I haven't.
Okay.
Although like it's always been one of the places at like the top of my list of places I want to go to, just because like growing up, anyone who's not American, like you're just consuming so much American
For
media.
sure, yeah.
Like it's all you watch on TV. So yeah, it's always been a place I've wanted to go to.
That's a long flight.
Oh yes.
It's a really long flight. Okay.
Honestly, anywhere from Australia tends to be a long
That's
flight.
a good point.
Unless if you're going to Asia.
Right.
Like,
That's a good point. I was just in Turkey, so I was a little bit closer, I guess.
Yeah.
But is it?
Actually, I don't know.
So this is funny because I always think of the world like on a flat map, but
Yeah.
I always forget that it's round and like you could go the other way and be.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, Europe would be further away than America, I would imagine.
I think so too, actually. Yeah. Because you're way down there. Okay, all right. Look, all right, enough geography. Let's get to it. Okay, 4th of July 2018, you created your ASMR channel. Does that sound right? 4th of July, by the way.
The 2018 sounds right.
Right? Okay. I mean, I looked. It's definitely the date.
Okay. Well, I learned something new today.
All right. So walk me through what made you do that. What got you? I'm gonna ask you the cliche ASMR question, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. So what got you into that? What made you specifically go, I'm gonna start a channel?
Well, I'm a long time watcher of ASMR. I've been watching ASMR for like probably 8 years now.
Yeah.
Like I remember discovering ASMR when I was in high school. And so I was watching ASMR for a good 4 years or so before I ever even started my channel.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even until like I had a few friends and I was always online gaming and stuff. And on mic, people would just mention like, oh, you have a relaxing voice. Like you would do, like you would make good ASMR. And it wasn't really until then where I started thinking like,
nice,
maybe I could. So yeah, one night, I'll admit, I had a bit to drink.
Sure.
I just got on Amazon and ordered a Blue Yeti, and
nice.
It all began from there.
I feel like that's how a lot of people start in that era. They're like, all right, let me get a Yeti and let's go.
Oh, and I love the Yeti. The Yeti is still my go-to.
For sure. It is. It's really nice. I just started doing like exclusively ASMR on TikTok, and so I went and got a new Yeti for that.
Nice.
I haven't used the Yeti in a long time.
It's my favorite mic. Favorite mic to listen to.
Yeah, it's really good. Okay, so so friends, people around you kind of gassed you up. They're like, you should do this, and
just a little.
And then you did it. And then how long into your channel did you start to see growth and all of that?
Well, the funny thing is I was already like I was already pretty active on Twitter. I had a pretty active Twitter following and that. So when I started my channel, obviously I posted the first video on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that immediately got a lot more traction than I thought it was.
Nice.
That I thought it would.
Nice.
I remember it got like 2,000 views in the first day, my first video, and that was shocking to me.
Right? Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like my third video, I think, that kind of blew up, and it was just all upwards from there.
Yeah.
Like it all happened so quickly, and I wasn't really expecting it at all.
Yeah. That me too. That's how it happened. I think it was my third or fourth one went off, and then you just have to be prepared and go.
Yeah, exactly.
From there, I love that. Okay, do you remember? Is your first video you ever made still up?
It is, yes.
Okay, I know some people delete it. Some people I
know. I'm more of a like. I mean, as much as I cringe at my old self, like I'll cringe watching my old videos, it's a part of the journey, and I know a lot of people love seeing first videos.
I completely agree. I completely agree. It makes it easier to look at how far you've come as well.
Yes, definitely. It's very interesting to look at. I know when I watch other people's channels, I love looking at their first videos. So I wouldn't want to take that away from you people,
right?
Okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you mentioned you gamed as well. I know you stream a lot of games. What games are you into right now?
At the moment, I'm pretty much only playing League of Legends, Dead by Daylight, and Roblox. I've been playing so much Roblox.
Nice. I don't. Maybe I need to like watch it. I've never really watched League. I don't get it. I don't get what's going on.
I don't blame you.
But here's the thing.
Don't blame you.
Like a lot of the orgs I follow, and like I see people like tournaments and stuff, and they're like it's the most excited I've ever seen anyone when something crazy happens. I just like don't. It's like so hard to follow.
I know. I remember when I first started playing League, it took me a good year to even like understand what is going on in a fight. It just looks like pixels everywhere.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, I want to learn it though. I want to bare minimum. I want to learn it enough to be able to watch it and enjoy it.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot easier to do
Okay.
than actually playing it. But
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it just looks like just things happening.
there's just so much to learn. So many champions. There's like 5 million champions in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I've never played Roblox either. I know that's really big though.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. And it kind of blew up again after the whole Squid Games
Exactly.
thing they had going.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's another. I didn't write this down, but I'm glad you brought that up. In Australia, do you have like the same things on Netflix as the US, or is it different?
No, and it is
Okay.
so it boils my blood because I will look up, I'll go to Google and I'll go, where can I watch this movie? And it will go Netflix. So I'm like, okay, great.
Yep.
I have Netflix.
Yep.
I look it up, not available in Australia. It's just
wow. Is there anything like really big that you haven't been able to watch because of that? That's crazy.
Everything. Everything big I can't watch.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah. I noticed that even I was just in Germany on the way to Turkey, and I noticed like a lot of stuff wasn't available.
Yeah. It's mainly, like all the bigger, like older movies. Like I'll get all the new releases and stuff. It's just older stuff you love to watch.
Wow.
It's never there.
That's crazy. Okay, well look, I maybe I'll tune into a stream. I pop into your stream every once in a while.
Yeah.
I come say what's up whenever I see that you're on. Which do you like more? Which one do you enjoy more between uploading on YouTube or streaming?
I love them both for very different reasons. Like it's just a completely different experience, really. Obviously, I love on Twitch. I feel like I can be myself more. I can joke around. I can play games, which is my favorite hobby. So I obviously don't do that on my. Oh, I mean, I have done some gaming videos on my ASMR YouTube, but it's like not the main thing, you know?
Right.
So I just love that I can be more casual, silly, muck around on Twitch. But then on YouTube, it's very like, okay, now it's time to get the fuck to sleep.
Right.
So it's like serious in a way. Like it's just very methodical, I guess.
I get that. I actually do get that. Do you do ASMR? Do you ever do ASMR on Twitch?
I do, yes.
Okay.
I actually started doing ASMR on Twitch just this year.
Okay. I know that there's a lot of, what's the word? I guess opinion about ASMR on Twitch. Where are you at with that? I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, of course. From my perspective, a lot of it was people perceived it as people taking advantage of the keyword basically, or the category, right? And kind of taking over the genre there. And you know, there's been a ton of stuff on Twitch in the last couple of years that have just been controversial or whatever you want to call it. Where are you at with that, with streaming on Twitch, doing ASMR? Any thoughts?
Well, I know, since like I spend so much time on Twitter and all that it seems like most people's issue with the ASMR category at the moment seems to be how sexualized it is. I think mine is the biggest issue I have with the category at the moment is the people who pretend to be live when they're not.
100%.
Like,
yes,
it's pretty much all the people at the top, even like,
I completely
will just
agree.
replay VODs and everyone thinks they're live when they're not. I don't know. I don't even know if that. I assume that they fly under the radar, like in terms of Twitch's rules. So I guess if they're following the rules, then whatever. But
I'm not sure if
it's just a bit scummy to me.
You would think that there'd be something in TOS about saying that you're live and playing a pre-recorded.
Deception.
Yeah, it's deceptive for sure.
Yeah,
I completely agree. By the way, that's a bigger problem to me.
Yeah,
for sure. I see it all the time. By the way, it happens a lot.
And the thing with the like, people have an issue with the sexual side of Twitch. I think as long as they're following the rules, then whatever you do, you.
Right.
Obviously, at the end of the day, it's up to Twitch what they want to have on there. So
right. Yeah, I mean, certainly that's been a big topic in internet culture, of course. I think once ASMR got, I'm gonna say 2019-ish, when it got really big, stuff started to happen, and people started to talk about that, and it's always a topic of conversation, always.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's a very controversial topic.
You know that probably better than anyone.
Oh yes.
So I mean, look, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about not safe for work ASMR. That's a lot of letters.
Yes, that is my area of expertise.
Yeah. And look, truly, this is one of the reasons I wanted to have you on as well, because I love learning, one, and two, I love getting giving someone a platform to talk about this stuff, because I think
and I think it's nice to have like different perspectives as well. I think a lot of the people who are kind of taking over the conversation at the moment are the people who are like so angry about people who are, you know, ruining the ASMR community, as a lot of them say. So yeah, not often do you get, you know,
absolutely
people like me in the spotlight.
So I'm very much looking forward to this. So all right, so you're in the arena of not safe for work ASMR.
Yes.
You of course do.
I definitely
both, of course.
I am in the arena, but I will say, like, I don't do the not safe for work stuff on YouTube or Twitch. It's all, you know, behind the paywall, OnlyFans, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so let's start there. What's talk to me about that decision. Talk to me about only you could look at it either way, right? You could look at it as you're doing that only behind a paywall, or you're doing the other stuff only on YouTube. You know what I mean? So talk to me about that. Just your decision to kind of keep it normal, if you will, on public platforms, and then behind paywalls.
Yeah, that was always, like, even from the very beginning of my channel, since like I'm such a massive fan of ASMR, I'm a viewer of ASMR myself, it was never ever my intention to make my YouTube sexual. Like, even though I am like a very sexual person, I always wanted to separate that.
Right.
I always wanted to have my YouTube be very obviously safe for work and just normal ASMR. And then obviously keep the sexual stuff separate, because that's still a part of me that I love to express, and whoever's interested in that part of me can then go to that avenue.
Right. Was did you ever do so before OnlyFans, before all the other platforms, right? Were you doing that before those as well, like Patreon or wherever?
I wasn't. YouTube was the first kind of like video. It was the first video platform I was on. But I was already doing Twitter. Like, I was very active on Twitter. I was already posting like very sexual stuff on Twitter. So I was known in the Twitter community for that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And then I made my YouTube channel.
Right.
So a lot of people, there's like a misconception.
Yeah.
Like, I get a lot of comments from people saying, you know, you're only doing OnlyFans for the money, whatever. Obviously, like, they only say that to not safe for work creators. It's interesting.
Certainly, right.
Because, I mean, I'm a realist. Let's be honest. Who's going to be spending 4 years of their life doing this for free?
Totally.
No one.
100%.
Like, we're all in this for the money.
100%.
I don't buy it when people say, you know, like, I'm in this because I love the ASMR and I want to give back to the community and stuff. It's like, no, love, you're here for a paycheck. That's okay to admit.
Yeah.
You can also love the ASMR like I do.
Exactly. And
I'm very passionate about it.
That's always been my point too, is it can be both.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Right? Like, you can be passionate about it, but also, like you said, 4 years or however long you've been doing it, if it's your job.
Exactly. But it's
You know what I mean?
demonized. It's demonized when people make money for it, and even more so when you're a not safe for work artist.
Right.
So a lot of people will say to me, you know, you only did ASMR so you could start an OnlyFans or whatever. But like, I was already doing the sexual content before,
Right,
you know?
right.
And I was watching ASMR before all of that as well.
Yeah.
And
Why do you think people, like the psychology of it, why do you think people get so upset when creators, regardless of how they're making it, when creators make money? Why do you think that is? Because I've struggled with that too, right? Like once like sponsors started coming in, and you know, like I do right now, I do 4 on YouTube, 4 a month, right? I do 1 a week, right? And I remember backlash when I first started that. I mean, you know, you get the sellout, you get the you're only doing this for money thing, but for me at least, I've tried to be transparent about it. So like, I think now for the most part, they know, oh, this is his job. Like, okay, you know what I mean?
I think the main reason why they have a problem with it is because they see it as easy money.
I
mean, I agree. Like, this is an easier job than most people have. Like, I'm fine with admitting that. But I don't think that's a logical reason to get mad at someone for it. It doesn't really make much sense.
Because if you think psychologically, right, if they're mad that it's an easier job, that to me that means they're mad that they can't do it. Because it's so easy. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And the same, that issue is amplified when it comes to doing OnlyFans, doing not safe for work content, because they just see it as like, oh, you just take a picture and you make, you know,
they're
money.
They're like,
you know?
I've sent nudes before, but I didn't get paid.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of them do wish that they could do it, so they project that. Onto us.
I'm glad you said that. It is largely projecting, I would say.
Yes, but yeah, I understand the anger. I understand why it seems unfair to them.
Right.
I disagree with the way that they direct that anger onto us. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
I'm
exactly.
just living.
Yeah. And man, yeah. I mean, is it always going to be this controversial topic, or do you think we'll ever get to a place where people accept what it is?
Well, like, I've been online for a very long time now, and I've seen, like, especially in the past 10 years, a massive shift in the attitudes towards sex work, towards just women being openly sexual.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
It's changed massively. Like, people are, I guess they're a lot more on board with it now.
I completely agree. I've had friends growing up, like in real life, that were stripping for a certain point and stuff, and I remember them being like so secretive and scared about it, and like knowing them now, they don't do that anymore, but knowing them now, they would be like, they would 100% own it, because I do think it's a little more I don't know if accepted is the right word, but just known. It's known that, hey, it's
less taboo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's one of the reasons why I love talking about what I do.
Yeah.
I love talking about, like, I mean, sex in general. Like, my sex ed series on YouTube popped off.
Yeah.
Just because it breaks down those taboos, and that's, like, I'm very passionate about that. I do think you're absolutely right. I think especially in the last, I don't know a timeline, but 5-10 years, especially on the internet, it's became more bare minimum talked about. It's talked about way more, especially with platforms coming out like OnlyFans and the other ones. All right, so let's talk about OnlyFans. So you're on OnlyFans. Are you anywhere else in that arena, or is that your main? I'm on Patreon. I'm on Fansly.
Nice.
Those are the only pay to view platforms I'm
okay.
on. Yeah.
So Fansly, is Fansly basically the same as OnlyFans? What's the difference?
The same as OnlyFans. It's just, like, not as strict. OnlyFans has some things you really can't do on there, which Fansly's like, no, you can do that here.
Without getting too without getting too wild, can you what kind of things can you do on Fansly that you can't do on OnlyFans? And by the way, it's okay. Say whatever you want. Whatever, you know.
The first thing that comes to mind is, like, pee fetish stuff.
Okay, so
OnlyFans is like absolutely not.
Does OnlyFans have a TO? I'm sure they have a TOS, but do they have like rules?
Yes.
They're like literally says you can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so,
yeah, Fansly is a lot more lenient in that regard.
Got it. Okay.
Obviously, it doesn't affect me since I'm not doing that kind of content.
Right. That's good to know, though. That's really interesting that there's and Fansly came out after OnlyFans, right?
Yes.
Okay. So clearly they saw an opening. They're like, oh,
yes,
people can't do that on OnlyFans. Let's start this. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So you're on a few things. And then you're also on YouTube, you're also on Twitch, you're also on Twitter, you're doing it all. How do you think it's going? That's a lot to balance.
It is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, where are you at right now with all of that? How do you feel about it?
It definitely gets very, very busy at times.
Yep.
Like I feel like I am juggling a lot of things at once. I have a YouTube editor now, so that's made things like a million times easier on me.
Nice.
But,
good.
Yeah.
Is your editor who I think it is?
I think so.
Okay. All right. I think it is. That's awesome. I people who listen to this podcast are gonna roll their eyes right now, but I still have not hired an editor.
You definitely should. It's life changing.
Okay, I'm gonna say this again. If you've been listening to the podcast, you've heard me say this 100 times, so close your ears. I really struggle with giving up that control. One, because and look, my videos aren't that hard to edit.
Yeah.
Honestly, they're not.
That's what makes it easier to get an editor, I think, when there's not a lot of intricate things that you have to do.
Okay, give me how has hiring an editor positively added to your life?
I have Friday nights now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That used to be my editing time where I would just sit down for like 4 hours or whatever, do a video.
Right.
It's just like so much. It's like a weight lifted off my shoulders, really.
Got it.
Just, yeah, I would highly recommend it.
All right. I'm going to look into I know I should. The other thing for me too is editing is my favorite part of the process. So like.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Maybe that changes things a bit, because for me editing was, I fucking hated it.
Yeah,
like that was my least favorite part, so I was happy to hand that over.
Yeah, so, I know though, everyone I talk to that's an editor, like, you have to do it. If
you enjoy it, I think that changes the dynamic. I think that's a fair reason to not get an editor, but it's up to you.
All right, so yeah, that's a lot to balance though. It is,
yeah.
All right, so you were recently, I saw this on your Twitter, you were recently in an article online. Really cool, by the way. I read the whole thing. Congrats on that. Any kind of press is great, so that's good job. In it, the person, I cannot remember the person's name, I'm sorry, the writer, she said a term that I had actually never heard. And she said she called you or anyone else in that arena a SexFluencer. I think that's, by the way, a great term. I think that's really cool.
I know. I don't think I'd heard it before that either, but I love it.
Yeah. So do you consider yourself a SexFluencer?
I mean, I guess I honestly would be more inclined to call myself a SexFluencer rather than an influencer, because I hate the word influencer.
Me too, by the way. I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But add sex in it and makes it so much better.
I thought that really stood out to me, though. I thought that was a really great term. How did that? I've done some press articles recently, and it's always, I enjoy it a lot just because, I like explaining what I do and all of that. Do you love that process?
Well, yeah, like as I was saying before, I love, breaking down those taboos. So I love being able to talk about it. And also ASMR. Like I feel like people in Australia don't really know what ASMR is. So yeah, always.
Is that true? Like, what's your demographic? What's your highest country in your demographic for ASMR?
United States.
Is it? Interesting. Is it not a known thing in Australia, you think?
Not nearly as much. I think people in Australia just don't use YouTube as much.
Oh, is that true?
Other
okay.
countries? Yeah. Yeah. So we got
That makes
got a
sense.
bit to do. Aussies.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot to balance. You're doing multiple platforms. You're creating all the time. Are you on OnlyFans? Is OnlyFans your your main one? In that okay. How often are you uploading to there?
I try to upload every day. I'll have
Okay.
off days sometimes.
Yeah.
There's been months this year where it's been so rocky because
Yeah.
I've been moving and stuff. But yeah.
Okay. So active though.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Talk to me about what are some downsides to it? What are some downsides to sex work online, whether that be Patreon, OnlyFans, Fansly, wherever, Twitter even?
Yeah.
Talk to me about some downsides, and also I want to add to this, maybe talk about downsides, and also if you have any advice for anyone who is probably struggling with these same kind of downsides.
It's funny because I've had so many people come up to me that like they know the success I've had doing online sex work, OnlyFans and all that, and they're like, oh my God, can you give me advice? Like, I really want to start doing it.
Yeah.
And 100% of the time, once I'm done explaining everything that's involved, they no longer want to do it.
Ah, interesting.
There absolutely are downsides to doing what I do.
Okay.
I know a lot of people online like to paint a picture that's all like sunshines and daisies, roses.
Right.
But obviously, doing something that is still very taboo is going to come with its downsides. One of the biggest downsides, I guess, is the opinions that other people will have on you. Like, you will always get hate online for doing it. I get hate online every single day.
Yeah.
Called names, whore, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So you really need to have very tough skin, which luckily I do. And even more painful, I guess, for a lot of people is the opinions of family and close friends.
Sure.
Again, like, I'm lucky enough to have a very supportive friendship group, very supportive family. They all know what I do. They're happy for me. So I don't have to worry about that negative side of it. So we're all good on that end.
Yeah.
And another thing is that it can be a lot more difficult, maybe even impossible, sometimes to get brand deals, companies wanting to work with you. Yes.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. So, have you had instances where brands have said no because of that?
I have had a brand email me back and be like, we don't work with people who do OnlyFans. So yes, but that's something you have to weigh up before you do it. Is that a risk you are willing to take?
Right.
Is the money you make from the sex work going to outweigh whatever money you could make from brand deals?
Right.
That's something you have to think about. Another thing you have to think about is whether or not you are okay with your content being out there online forever for people to view. That is probably the toughest one for a lot of people.
Right.
Which I would consider a downside. You need to consider, like, is this something I'm going to regret having up there later on?
Right.
You need to be 100% certain you want to do it. I think if there's any doubt, that's probably a good sign that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, and these are all things that you wouldn't think about, like,
exactly.
You know what I
mean? A lot of people again go into it thinking it's going to be easy money, like, so they don't think about that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Is there? This is probably a dumb question because I'm sure I know the answer. But
no dumb questions.
Especially with OnlyFans, is there strategy? Like, are you strategic on OnlyFans?
Definitely. I mean, the number one strategy, of course, is to be on other platforms.
Right.
I think, people have a very wrong idea of how OnlyFans works. They think you can just start a profile and the subscribers come flowing in on their own, but you need to be active you need to have a following.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's not worth it, in my
Right.
opinion. You're going to be
That's a great
tirelessly.
that's a great point. Is there like a browse or discover?
No.
Oh.
Zero discovery. The only way people discover your OnlyFans is through a link. So
interesting.
If you do not have a following on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, any social media platform, do not even think about starting an OnlyFans.
Got it.
Yeah,
wow. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So yeah, you would need some sort of following.
Yeah, and that's usually, as I said, when people come to me asking for advice on how to start it. Once I get to that point where it's like, you need to have a following, so get your socials going, start a following. Right. That's when they're like, I'm out. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
because we all know how hard it is to grow a following.
Yeah. That's a grind. Okay. Wow. That's crazy that it's all essentially from a link. That there's no discovery on it.
Zero.
That's something that I guess just assumed that people could grow on there just from posting. No. Wow. Mm-hmm. We're learning a lot today.
We are.
At that point, it's probably impossible, right? If you just made a page, start posting with no following, like no one would know.
No one.
Wow.
No one's subbing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Okay. I want to talk strategy more too. Like, so, do you set your own prices there on OnlyFans?
No. So I have a paid page, which means you pay one fee and then you get everything.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people do a different strategy where it's like they'll have a lower sub price or it's free, and then everything is like expensive.
Okay.
Individually.
Got it.
I just do the one price, make it easy, and then they get everything.
Nice. I mean, from what I've heard from people, like, I have a lot of friends that are on it, and it seems like a lot of work. It really does.
Yeah. There is a lot more involved than people might think. I'm still on board with, like, I still think this is easier work than the average person.
Right.
And I'm fine with admitting that. I'm very, very happy that I get to do this as my job. It's basically my dream job, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you there's a DM system there, right? Or a messaging system? Do you get, just kind of going back to some of the downsides, do you ever get anything crazy or disturbing, or do you ever deal with that, or no?
I have gotten like maybe one or two messages where I was like, oh, that's fucked. Like, I actually need to report that.
Okay.
But that's it. That's out of thousands of people, so it's honestly better than some of the YouTube comments and stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah. Do you what about safety? What about like online or in real life? Have you ever had any issues with that, or advice or anything like that?
Well, that's one thing that a lot of people going into OnlyFans don't consider is online security, online safety. People are very they're not careful about what they post. Some people will post pictures of where they're going out to eat and will tag the address. Anyone can rock up, Maybe don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
That's the best advice I could give. Just don't let people know where you are.
Right. Yeah, I learned a long time, years ago, especially on Instagram. Where was I? I think I was at VidCon. I was talking to Pokey about that, about like online safety. Yeah. And she told me, and I do this now, like if you're going to post a photo at a restaurant or whatever, post it the next day.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I've been doing.
So I've been doing that. Just spoiler alert, if you guys see me at a restaurant on Instagram, I was probably there the night before.
Yeah. I mean, I've posted photos of me like at a restaurant that was from a year ago.
Right. Right. And, but look, that's like, it sounds funny, but you have to be, I think any level, you have to be careful. You just do. Like, there's been really bad instances that have happened, and it's just not worth risking that. And especially, I don't think it's as bad for me. Like, I am not a woman on the internet, like it's always going to be worse, unfortunately.
Like a lot of men do deal with like a lot of bigger male creators have had some messed up stories. So it definitely does happen.
I've had the worst thing I've had is a couple kids showed up at my house. They weren't like, they were just like wanted a picture, but they showed up and I was like, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, bit much.
But for the most part, 99%, I've met a lot of people in real life and they've all been really nice.
Yeah.
Well, this is really interesting. I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm like blown away by the discovery thing that like you can't be successful on there without a following somewhere else.
Yeah. 100%.
And
that's what I tell people, like straight off the bat, and it's enough usually to make them not want to do it anymore. But
yeah, I think that there's for the general public of people, I do think that there's a stigma of like, it's easy, just make a page and make a ton of money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and clearly that's not true.
Yeah.
You know, like clearly, like if there's no way to grow or be found, like, you know, that's wow.
Got to get those socials going.
Yeah, I mean, geez, yeah, that's a grind. It's a grind. Okay, let's see. I want to talk to you about birds.
Oh yes,
I really do. So you have pet birds, correct?
I do.
And in fact, I think your most viewed video is with your bird.
It is, yeah. It was the first video of mine to really go viral.
Yeah,
I guess.
I remember what happened. I remember it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, it's how a lot of people discovered my channel in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the history. What got you into birds? What kind of birds? What are their names?
Well, I got my first bird when I was about 6. I actually found him. I rescued him. And he was the blue one that you see in the videos.
Nice.
Ringo.
Wow.
Sadly, he died last year.
Yeah.
He was almost 19.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, he was an old man.
Wow.
Yes, but I have at the moment 2 little budgies.
Okay.
One named Pippin and the other Mary.
Nice. nice.
Yeah, and I also have a green cheek conure called Gherkin.
Okay.
Yes, and 2 chickens named Guinness and Gallus.
Wow, that's a lot of birds.
It is. I'm a bird girl.
Is that difficult to balance and take care of, or are they easy?
Well, the good thing about birds is they mostly take care of themselves. They are very intelligent animals. People underestimate the intelligence of birds. But like parrots have the same intelligence of like a 2-3-year-old human child. Crazy intelligence.
Wow.
But yes, they are attention whores birds. But if you're a person who loves attention whore pets, then you'll get along with the birds.
Yeah. Where did the idea for the bird video come from?
From the moment I started my ASMR channel, I knew like I wanted to do a video with Ringo.
Yeah.
Just because he's such a unique bird, I guess.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't, like I said, they underestimate the intelligence of birds. So seeing him interact with me in that video, I think is what was so amazing to people.
Yeah.
And of course his beautiful blue color, like my jumper. Yeah, he stands out.
Yeah. I really do remember when that was going on. It was being posted everywhere.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Talk to me about that. How, like, were you ready for something to go viral like that? Like, how did it feel? What were the you know, what came from it?
It's funny because when I posted it, I knew, like, I had it in my mind. I was like, this video is gonna flop.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna post it anyway just because I love him so much and I want to show people my bird.
Yep.
And funnily enough, it did flop in the first 3 days.
Okay.
It wasn't until, actually, it might have been like a week after uploading. It wasn't until then where it just went boom.
Yeah.
And then it got like 1 million views in a week.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
That's so funny. That's one of the only consistent things that comes up with creators is the one that goes off is always the one you think is gonna flop. Always.
Yes.
Always.
I find that, like, I've always found that on my channel.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
And that's a good lesson because some of mine that are in the millions did not do well for a week. And then out of nowhere they just go off. So that's a good lesson too, because I talk with friends all the time, creator friends, about like, you know, YouTube can be kind of brutal, especially with the like ranking system of your last 10 videos.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And like, you know, because if you have a video go off, then the next one's going to be way down.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad video or it's not doing well.
Of course.
you know?
I think some creators get way too, they just get so affected by looking at the rankings and stuff. But I think, like, as a creator, you have to understand that one video has to be 10 out of 10. Like, a video has to be the worst out of all of them. They can't all be number one.
That's a good point.
Know?
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like, you can't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah. And again, like, a video could be 10 out of 10. And by the way, for people who are listening who aren't creators, so basically in your analytics in YouTube Studio, YouTube gives you a tool that basically shows your last 10 videos and where they rank view wise. And so like if a video goes off, that's obviously 1 out of 10. So then when you put a new video up, within about an hour or so, you can see where it's ranking. And so that's what we're talking about. But it's also like, again, a video could be 10 out of 10 and then go off in a week later, right? So
and and at the end of the day, that 10 out of 10 video is still going to be a lot of people's favorite. So.
That's true too. That's very true. Yeah, when I get comments all the time of like, I love this whatever video you did, and I'll go look and I'm like, this video flopped. What? Why do you like that one? You know? But I think that's part of our culture too, is just assuming that the amount of likes or views equal quality.
I think, creators are way too hard on themselves.
Yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that sometimes.
Yeah.
What's the most used app on your phone? Wait, does OnlyFans have an app or is it web-based?
They don't actually. Yeah, it's web-based.
Why do you think they don't have an app?
Oh, because it's porn. Like, the App Store doesn't want porn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But my most used app would probably be Reddit or Twitter.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I can't get into Reddit. I don't. It just seems like too much info for me at once. It's a lot. There's so much stuff on there.
It's so drama filled, but that's why I love it. Like, I love Twitter and Reddit. I love the drama.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people on it.
Oh yes.
Oh my gosh. Is there OnlyFans drama on Reddit?
Oh, not really within the people who do OnlyFans. It's more the people who don't do it, who have a problem with it, that kind of thing. It's the same with Twitter, you know. You always see people complaining about OnlyFans girls and
right. Is there like any form of community on OnlyFans, like for creators to talk about things?
Not on OnlyFans itself.
Yeah.
They have to do that elsewhere. So
that's interesting.
Not really. Yeah.
I feel like that could be a thing. Like, you know, you're all probably dealing with a lot of similar stuff. Talking to other people might be helpful.
There are a few subreddits, but it's like they're not super active. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So you said Reddit and Twitter.
Yeah.
Mine's probably Twitter.
Yeah.
I love Twitter. I do.
I do love Twitter.
Okay. I want to say this also. One thing that I noticed about you that I really admire about you, especially on Twitter. You're really you're not afraid to stand up and defend yourself when things come up. But I think the next step of that I find fascinating about you on Twitter is the way that you respond to people is like a mix of trying to educate them, but also like sass. Like you're like sassy. Like you'll be like sassy and make a joke, but also you always get to the point of like, but also think of it this way.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
that really is just like my personality.
Mm.
Like I'm always myself on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. Like I would never say anything that I wouldn't say in person or that conflicts with my morals or anything like that.
Right.
So
Right.
I've always been the type of person who does stand up for myself. I kind of have to be that person. Like I grew up in a very religious
Mm.
family, very religious household.
Yeah.
And coming out of that religion, having to relearn everything, I had to question a lot of things
For
myself.
sure. Yeah.
And so I like to, you know, pull people up on why they believe certain things as well.
Sure. Sure.
Like a lot of the negativity that's thrown my way online is obviously because of how sexual I am
Right.
online.
Right.
And I think that standing up for myself in that regard helps to educate, I guess,
Yeah,
all
it
those
does. It absolutely does. Yeah.
who are watching the conversation. Yeah.
It's
And I think it's important like in the ASMR community as well, because I mean, I've even felt a little ostracized by like other ASMR creators in the way that they talk about
Mhm.
like not safe for work ASMR, giving ASMR a bad name,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
making other ASMR artists look bad, when at the end of the day, like I love ASMR just as much as everyone else.
Mhm.
And I also love being sexual, and I like to meld the two together.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I think that there's more than enough room for both. I do.
of course, yes.
I
And
do.
I don't see why people can't understand that, because it's like, I mean, you have cosplay, right?
Mhm.
And then you have sexy cosplay. Does
Right.
that mean the sexy cosplay is no longer cosplay?
Mm.
You know, like
Mhm.
a lot of people try to say that, oh, it's not ASMR, call yourself something that isn't ASMR or whatever. But like at the end of the day, who gets to decide what ASMR is?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. 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 And
it can
I
be so
think
many things.
that's all. That's always for me. What's been really cool about ASMR is there's not really any rules.
There's no limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like art, really. Who
Yeah.
gets to define art?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Wow, wow. Okay. Anyway, she's a great follow on Twitter. Go follow her on Twitter if you're not yet. Do you have any plans on any travel coming to the US, anything anytime soon, or
I would love to go to a TwitchCon at some point.
yeah.
Maybe next year. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to America at
Wait,
some
how
point.
was I forgot to ask you this. How was Australia with COVID in the last couple of years? What was it like?
Well, I mean, at the moment, it's basically like we act like it doesn't even exist.
Yeah,
You still
that's
get the
how it
odd
is here
person
now.
wearing a mask,
Yeah.
but it has felt like that in Australia for quite some time.
Yeah.
I guess because obviously we took COVID quite seriously with our lockdowns and all that.
Mhm.
So we were able to keep the cases down whilst we tried to get everyone vaccinated. So now that
Right.
like most people are vaccinated, even though the cases are going up,
Yeah.
we live life like normal.
Yeah.
Like not as many people are dying as they would be without it. So
Right.
that's nice.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. That's pretty much how it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. If you could, okay, so VidCon or TwitchCon would be really cool. I am going to the San Diego one. I think it's in October. I think it's
Right.
October. I've actually never been to a TwitchCon
Oh,
I've
that
been
would
to a
be exciting
VidCon
for you then.
a bunch of times, but yeah, I've never been to
Yeah.
a TwitchCon, so I'm
Well,
excited.
I've never been to either. So
There's nothing in Australia like that? There's no are there conventions or anything?
we do have conventions that obviously on a much smaller scale. We have like PAX,
Oh, yeah,
which
okay.
I also have not been to. We've
Okay.
got Supernova. That's
Are
the
you
main
good in
ones,
public? I
think.
don't know this about you. Are you good in public? Like, would you be good walking around a convention and meeting people?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be fine.
You seem very social.
It's funny. I'm very extroverted, but I'm also very introverted. I'm kind
okay.
of both.
Okay.
I have aspects of both. Like I'm quite happy being in fully like extroverted situations, and then I'm perfectly fine being in introverted situations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Let's see. This is just a personal question because I do not remember. How did we come across each other? My guess is Twitter maybe,
Probably.
but like someone retweeted something and we found.
I feel
but
like
do you remember?
I feel like I would have known your channel before I started mine. When did you start yours?
Yeah, 2016.
Yeah, see, like by the time I started my channel, I knew every single ASMR artist, like just because I watch so much.
Right.
Now there's a bit too many to keep up with.
Yeah, I can't keep up either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably would have known of you, and then maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Twitter.
Yeah, I can't. I'm assuming Twitter. That's my guess because that's where we've talked the most.
Yeah.
Anyway. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a good point though. Like do you watch ASMR more or less now than you did 3-4 years ago?
I kind of go through waves.
Me too.
Of it. But I've always been a heavy ASMR consumer.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
There have been times where I'll watch it every single night. And then I'm at the stage now where I mostly watch it during the day.
Really? That's interesting.
Like I don't watch ASMR mostly to go to sleep. I also watch it just for the tingles.
Yeah.
Because I get tingles so easily. Like it doesn't matter what I'm watching, who it is.
What
I get tingles very easily.
Do you have any favorite triggers?
Visual triggers are my favorite.
Nice.
So like hand movements, the lights, all that stuff. That's my favorite.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are your biggest inspirations?
Well, the first ASMR artist I ever watched was Massage ASMR.
Nice.
And so he was always a massive inspiration for me, especially because he's also Australian.
Yeah.
And there aren't many Australian creators, so it is kind of inspirational, I guess, to see someone from your country doing really well online.
Yeah.
He was probably my biggest inspiration, but every ASMR artist I watch inspires me because it's like they'll be doing something different that I like to incorporate into my own, make it my own.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. That's a good pick. Yeah, he's been around forever.
I know.
He's been
top-notch videos.
Yeah. He is great. All right, talk to me about your we're going to get into the nerdy stuff now. Talk to me about your process with filming videos. Where do ideas come from? Take me from idea to upload.
Okay, well, I have like a notepad where I'll just like it'll pop into my brain. I'm like, I have to write it down before I forget it.
Me too. Yeah.
Write it down, and there's like a massive long list. So I'll just like go through them and be like, what do I feel like filming this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, pick one, grab the triggers for it, whatever is available. Sit down, film. The like idea to upload is so much shorter now that I have an editor, but
sure, yeah.
Before I had an editor, it would be like it'd probably take me like 10 hours.
Wow. Yeah.
Like just because editing took me so long as well, but like setting up took me a long time as well because I lived in a tiny ass like 1-bedroom apartment,
right?
0 space for filming. So I would hang up a curtain on like I would hang up a black blanket, which I still use today,
yeah,
on our curtain.
Yeah.
And I would set up my laptop on our bed.
Nice.
Set up the light was on the bed.
Yep.
And the microphone was on the bed.
Yep.
And then I would sit in front of the bed and film. And that was basically the entirety of the videos of my channel up until this year, pretty much.
Right. So I love those stories too, because we all have those. We all have the stacking of a microphone on something, and you know.
I have a picture of my setup. I'll have to upload it somewhere because it's actually disgusting. that I filmed like that for like 3-4 years.
Yeah,
it's disgusting, but it worked.
Yeah. Well, and like you said,
what I had.
The editor helps a lot with the process, so that's good.
Yes.
Nice. That's good. What about props? Prop stuff. Do you have like a just a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, I have like a wardrobe. Actually, it's that one right there.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Bunch of stuff in it, and then like I'm sitting where I do like my Twitch stream, so I have like a bunch of stuff on my desk. Like I've got this comb
Right.
here, I've got a little light.
Nice. Yes. Yes.
I just got myself a little dental kit.
Nice.
So
I saw the video Dextero posted of that. So good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting them to post it. I didn't even realize till the day after. Someone tagged me and oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Again, go follow her if you'll find out what I'm talking about. Let's see. I want to talk. Let's talk equipment as well. So, camera, microphones. What are you using lately?
Well, I'm an old school ASMR gal. I mostly use my Blue Yeti. I prefer the sound.
Yeah, it is
as
really
a viewer,
good.
As a viewer, I pretty much exclusively watch Blue Yeti videos. I just find them the most tingly. That's just my opinion.
Right.
But so that's usually the things that I find most tingly is what I'll do in my videos.
Yeah.
So Blue Yeti.
Nice.
That's what I use most. I do a lot of visual triggers as well for that reason.
Yeah.
And then camera, I think I've got a Canon 8TD or 800D.
Okay.
I honestly
the 80D,
don't even remember
80D,
that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and I think the names are different in Australia as well. So
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I've got I usually use 2 ring lights.
Okay.
And then I've got like my backdrop set up with my original black blanket.
Nice.
Yeah, it's interesting because I get like a few comments of people saying like, "Are you using a black backdrop or a green screen?" Because it looks so dark.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, I love that. I love that you still use the black blanket. I'm gonna look for that. That's nice.
Yeah.
What's next for you? Where do you go from here?
Well, I'm just trying to grow on Twitch at the moment. Like I'm really starting to get more into Twitch, doing my ASMR streams there, doing gaming.
Nice.
Because gaming has always been like my number one hobby. If I never got into ASMR, I probably still would have eventually done Twitch streaming, gaming.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
grinding.
Continue to grind, huh? Yeah, I know. That's kind of where I'm at too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got one more for you. If you could hear anyone on this podcast in the future, who would you like to hear?
Ooh. Let me have a think about that. I actually need to think.
It's a tough one. I know.
Anyone.
It doesn't have to be an ASMR. In fact, for our listeners out there, I have the next 5, I think, booked, and 4 of them are not ASMR artists.
You should have exciting. Destiny on.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Destiny?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be interesting. You haven't had anyone like political on here before, have you?
I would love that. I really would. Okay. Look, here's the deal. I'm so happy we got to do this. 2, we've never really like sat down and talked, so I've actually really enjoyed talking with you. It's been nice.
I know, yeah, it was good.
I think you are I don't even know the word. I think that you are
magnificent.
Magnificent. Yeah, well, let's go with magnificent. No, I really admire what you do. I really admire people who put themselves out there and can stand behind that. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm all for, I've said this for years. I am all for going out there and getting your money, honestly. Like, get it while you can and go. So I love that. I really do. This has been so fun.
Yeah,
thank you for being on here. Where can they find you online? This is your time to plug away.
Well, Diddley ASMR on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just Diddley on Twitch. And then I'm Diddley Donga most other places. So Twitter and like OnlyFans, Patreon, Fansly. That's Diddley Donga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Is there a thing about OnlyFans links? Can you put those anywhere? Like, can you put them in YouTube descriptions?
Ooh. I think you can link to other stuff, but you can't directly link to them. I think you have to
okay.
be more careful about that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I could just give you like my
Give me
website link
exactly.
and
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Because I want to help however I can.
Yeah.
All right, look, seriously, thank you so much for being here. This was so fun. I learned
Thank
a
you
lot.
for having me.
Learned a lot. I'm like
Yes.
don't understand how it's winter. I'm gonna like have to research that. No. All right, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Please remember to subscribe on YouTube, leave a review wherever you're listening to this. This has been the Creator Code Podcast. I am your host, MattyTingles. Be safe out there, be kind to others and yourself. I will see you next time.